good evening. And has anybody else been experiencing technology issues? Because I know I have. So I'll just try to post the Pick Your Crystal reading on the Lemurian seed crystal. So that should be coming through soon, but it's a pretty long video that, so I'm going to try and keep these shorter, and I keep saying that, but I think I really need to. And if they do go into longer ones, I'm just going to do part 1, part 2. That's the way I channel, and yeah, I can't cut spirit off midway. It's a bit rude, but I'm going to do part 1, part 2. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not rushing these readings. I'm not rushing these channels that come through. You know, you can't. If you're being true and authentic to yourself and your viewers, then it comes out the way it comes out. I can't say that clear enough, you know. But yeah, so if you're here, you did choose the crystal. You chose what crystal? It's right near me. The amethyst crystal, the beautiful amethyst. Wow. And this is probably, well, it is the biggest crystal that I own, and I just absolutely love it. And it's always around me. When I sleep, I'll move it there. If I go downstairs, it will come with me there. When I'm in my work room like now, it's around me. It brings in the intuition, connection to spirit, you know, source. Not that I need it these days, because it's full on 24 hours. Don't even let me sleep. But yes, I'm just saying, okay. So this is the card that came out for Amethyst. Just take that. Lovely card in. You know, it looks like a doorway. You know, owls also represent wise old owls, don't they? So when you step through this doorway, you know, to your consciousness, you know, you start doing that healing to connect with spirit more, then you become like the wise old owl. You're full of knowledge, full of sacred knowledge. You know, you return that knowledge back to yourself. And it says, the divine is always supporting and guiding me. Yeah, you know, on this journey that I have took for many, many years now, yeah, they're always guiding us. The angels, you know, you just have to call them in. They don't like to intervene, but they do like to be called on, you know. But yeah, the divine is always guiding us, you know, from where we can't see, you know. Sometimes some people can see, some people can't. Me personally, I don't see. I hear, I feel. You know, I've never seen any of my spirit guides. I have seen visions, however, precognition, clairaudience, clairvoyance. So the seeing, the feeling, the hearing, the seeing, the visions is, so when I'm channeling, then visions might just come to me, you know, and that, yeah, that's spirit connecting through visions, clairaudience, clairvoyance, all clairsentience, all these spiritual gifts that when we start connecting with the divine, return to us, you know, come back. So I'll just speak a little bit out of the book. But you are never alone, and when opening up to walk your highest path of healing and spiritual development, you will be provided with everything you need. Yeah, you know, along my path, of many, many years now, my twin flame journey. Yeah, Spirit's provided me with resources, you know, like, yes, material. So I'm a candle business owner, you know, candles are one of the first things creatively that came back to my knowing. You know, also very spiritual candles. So there was reaching out to people, you know, through my creativity and through my healing and my connection with spirit. There was channeling through me the creative spark, you know, that I needed to create my candles, then to reach out to others, you know, for healing. So yeah, you know, when you do go through this doorway, so, you know, and want to connect with spirit and find your, you know, your soul and your soul gifts, then yeah, it is said that the most essential practice is spiritual, because it reminds us that we are more than we think and surrounded by and a part of this great mystery. Yeah, you know, when you start opening up to the spiritual realms and the veil gets lifted, it's like you've been woken up from this long sleep of untruths, and you start seeing things more and more clearer than you've ever seen before. Don't all come at once, because you still have to do the healing, you know, you have to do the work. Whether that's whether you choose to work with crystals and, you know, yoga, any type of healing, spiritual healing that enables you, you know, to have that support and connection from spirit stronger. So it says here, most of us have experienced a glimpse of the one that has given birth to all. Now, Sophia comes to mind when this comes up, and I will speak about Sophia on another video, and that came into my knowing along with the Mary Magdalene path and Yeshua. But I will speak about that another day, and I will keep this to, you know, this reading. So it says, we are not separated from the divine. It is an illusion of separation, and thinking that we are individuals and not one soul living and breathing through all of us, that leaves us in despair. Yeah, you know, the veil, when we come to earth as souls, because we are divine, we are, you know, before we come to this earthly realm, we are souls. So when we come here to, you know, do our mission, we've signed up for our mission, and we come to the earthly realm, that veil is put on us. Why? Because then we have to take this long journey to find the divine again. And by that I mean the divine in self, the divine in us. You know, that's just been hidden, and it's hidden from us. So we take this long spiritual healing journey of self-discovery and transformation. Then that gets returned, you know, the knowing of we are divine. There is no separation. We are one. We are all interconnected. There never was separation. It is an illusion. And that is when that veil gets lifted, that is when you start seeing things from a higher perspective. You know, you are awake at that point, very much awake. I could not go back to sleep at that point. And you start seeing seeing things that you never saw before. You start seeing through the illusions of this world, the control of this world, society's, you know, beliefs, things like that, that has been, yeah, being pushed on us, and being there to make us forget of who we are, you know, all of who we are. Not just this skin, the bones, the human we are on this earthly realm, but the soul. The soul. So that's been hidden from us. Why? Because when we discover that we are divine souls having a human experience, then what does that do to power and control and suppression? That loosens the grip on all of that. Why? Because, as Mary Magdalene spoke of and got silenced, the do not search outside of yourself, you know, for what is inside. So those powerful teachings, when you start raising your, you know, your high consciousness, and you start going into elevated levels of consciousness, then the teachings and the hidden sacred knowledge returns to us, and that is powerful, and that is what they don't want us to know or to discover. And that was the teachings that got hidden. And this is what happens when you go into searching, and you go on this path of self-discovery. You discover more of who you truly are, not just what you see or what we've been told we are, or, you know, we discover all of what's been hidden from us. Discover our light, our divine in self. We discover that. So ways to discover the divine in ourselves is create stillness in your mind, sitting or lying comfortably, and focus on your breath. Sense the lightness out of your body. Start visualizing stepping out from your body. See yourself seated or lying down and state, I am not my body. Yeah, I have over the years, and still do, practice astral projection. I also had a very spontaneous astral projection right at the beginning stages of my twin flame journey. And when that happened, that truly awoke me up, you know, to there was many things that we cannot see, you know, but they are behind the veil, you know. Once that veil lifted for me, once I had that astral projection, there was no going back to sleep. I was fully awake then. When you see something, you can't unsee it. And that was a pivotal point of my journey, turning point of me really waking up, you know. I was waking up, but I was still in stages of slipping back to sleep, you know, because you can come in and out of it, but when your soul is ready to wake and it's ready to see beyond this veil of what's been hidden, and it's ready to go on this journey of discovering the divine in you, which has always been there, then it's going to wake. There is no stopping it. Once it's time to wake, it will awake. And there we go. So amethyst, yeah, beautiful purple crystal. elevates us to a higher consciousness, opens that connection with spirit. Also works on the crown chakra, you know, that is our connection to source, the crown chakra. So it opens that. Also, I've worked with amethyst on my third eye, you know, the all-knowing, to bring my intuition in. So I'll place an amethyst on my third eye. Yeah, very, very, very much. If you want to open your connection to spirit, work with amethyst. It is the perfect crystal for connection with your spirit guides and connection with self. You know, this spiritual journey we go on is about connection with self, but not the self that's been shown, you know, to the world, what we've known. Yeah, the divine self, you know, our sovereignty. It's taking us back home to our sovereignty. And this card, look, once you start working through them doors, yeah, you become wise. You become like that owl, the wise old owl. Your wisdom gets returned to you. Wisdom that's already inside of us, but again, it's been hidden. Why? We was put to sleep when we came to earth. That veil was put over us and we was put to sleep. But this new golden age that we are all in now, it's the age of awakening, you know. It's that veil being lifted. There you go. And I shall leave it there. And whoever was drawn to amethyst, then they're searching for that connection with spirit. You ready? You want to open that? You want to walk through this doorway? Reminds me of a portal. You want to walk through that portal, and you're ready. Your soul's ready to wake up and to lift that veil and bring that remembrance back to yourself, and, you know, to go on this journey to discover the divine in you. And I shall leave it there, and I shall speak to you all soon. Bye.